If you are a landscape photographer, fine art photographer, portrait photographer, wedding photographer, you don't really need all this. And today, I'm filming a little bit differently because I want to talk about the nitty-gritty of one of these marketing terms, what it means. Let's break down one thing, and that's the sensor. That's the main part of the camera. So today we're just going to talk specifically about the sensor. What's up, everyone? I'm Wesley. I am in the technology field. I'm a program manager. I used to be an engineer. I had to learn, electronic theory and diode theory and all the things. Needless to say, I'm qualified. Today, I just wanted to really just talk to you guys about sensor technology and the marketing specs that these companies like to use, and what it really means in the real world for you and what you should be paying attention to. So today's video is all about the biggest bottleneck when it comes to sensor technology, and that's rolling shutter. But before we talk about rolling shutter, I really wanted to just kind of quickly go over shutter speed, because a lot of people get shutter speed and sensor readout or rolling shutter. They confuse those two terms, or they intermix them. So shutter speed. Your sensor is, think about your sensor as rows and rows of photodiodes that light capturing photons converted into electrical charges that then get read off of the sensor onto your data bus, converted in image processing via your processor, and then sent to your memory card. Okay, a lot of terms, but let's just bear with me here.
Are you with me?
So your shutter speed is the time frame that you set on your camera for your shutter to open, expose the sensor to the light, and then close. That's your shutter speed. So 1/500, for example, is around 2 milliseconds. So you would think if your shutter speed set to 1/500, it's 2 milliseconds. Shouldn't be any warpy, any issues with it whatsoever. That you're freezing the motion at 2 milliseconds, right? Wrong.
What?
When you open your shutter at 1/500, you're exposing, think about it this way, you're exposing each row, one row at a time, to that 2 millisecond shutter speed, that 1/500th of a second shutter speed. So each row is getting then exposed to that 2 millisecond shutter time, one row at a time, and then it's read off the sensor one row at a time. One row is being exposed at that 1/500th, then the next row, then the next row, then the next row, then the next row. It's not all, unless you have a global shutter, which I only think Sony has right now with the A9 III. Unless you have a global shutter, each row then has to be read off of the sensor. And if you have a stacked sensor, it will send the processing of that, reading that, to a DRAM layer, and that speeds up the time to get it off of the sensor faster. And that's why stacked sensors read faster than non-stacked in some cases. Same thing with partially stacked sensors. A partially stacked sensor will read faster because of the partial stack, the extra level of DRAM or memory that it can push that data onto and then read it to the card. So let's talk about mechanical shutters with photo mode. That physical slit that we talked about that happens in the rolling shutter still happens, but the mechanical shutter moves and does the work. And mechanical shutter is faster than the rolling shutter. That's why you should always try to use a mechanical shutter in photo mode if you're able to, because it will eliminate the rolling shutter problem. The issue is you cannot use the mechanical shutter when you're in pre-capture in most cameras, and when you're in the very high, you're talking 30, 40, 50 frames per second. The mechanical shutters usually top out at around 20 frames per second, I believe. So if you're shooting that fast motion sports, you're in pre-capture, you're doing that high frames per second in photo, you're gonna be stuck to your rolling shutter. So that being said, if you're doing what we talked about in my last video, if you're doing sports, when you're moving something fast, or you're doing birding and you got a bird on a branch and you're in pre-capture mode, you're going to be relying on your rolling shutter to do the job for you. And if you don't want to have the warpy crap in your photo, you're going to need a sensor readout speed that's sub 15 milliseconds, but ideally, I mean, if you're talking like hummingbirds, for example, you might need to be at the sub 5 millisecond readout speed. Okay? Still with me? Now, this is just photos. We haven't started talking about videos yet. This is just photo. Let's kind of sum up the way it works in photo. Use your mechanical shutter and virtually eliminate the rolling shutter issues. When you go into those pre-capture modes and the high frames per second that you cannot use the mechanical shutter for, you need to make sure you have a sensor that's fast enough to to read out the action stuff. Now, if you are a landscape photographer, fine art photographer, portrait photographer, wedding photographer, you don't really need all this. So you do, especially if you're a wedding photographer, you don't want a rolling shutter that's terrible, but a 15 to 20 millisecond rolling shutter is not going to cause you any issues. And a lot of times when I was shooting weddings, I would be in the lower frames per second because I didn't want a million photos. And because of that, I was still using my mechanical shutter and I had zero issues. So you really only need to worry about this fast rolling shutter when you're doing fast moving things, sports, wildlife, racing, that kind of thing. That's when you're going to really worry about the rolling shutter in photo mode. Now, video mode is a completely different beast. Now, if you're doing talking heads like this, the rolling shutter doesn't matter because you're not really going to cause any issues. The issue starts to creep in when you're doing like fast panning shots, whipping it back and forth. If you were watching, say, filming a tennis match and you're drawing back and forth, you're going to see things slant side if you have a slow rolling shutter. I want to use the Nikon Z8 because I think this kind of serves as a perfect example how I love Nikons and I love the Z8, but how companies market their sensor readout speeds and make you think that it's this beast of a camera that it might not necessarily be. The Nikon Z8 in photo mode has no mechanical shutter, by the way, but in photo mode, due to its stacked 45 megapixel sensor, has a rolling shutter of around 3.7 milliseconds. You see, in photo mode it does, but in video mode, it's around 14.5 milliseconds at 4K 24p. Now, it's still very fast, and it's still fast enough to beat the rolling shutter or in most cameras, but the Nikon Z6 III has a faster sensor readout speed with its partially stacked sensor. Why? Well, it's only 24 megapixels. So think about it this way. You have either 24 million pixels, for 24 megapixels or 45 million pixels. And if it has to read all 45 million pixels on a 8K oversampled 4K footage, it reads it at 8K, downsamples it to 4K, and pushes it out. It still has to read all 8K of the sensor, and when it does that, well, you can't get 3.7 milliseconds readout speeds. Even if you down-res it and just do not the oversample, just do the normal 4K, it's going to be faster, but not blistering fast. It's not still going to hit that 4 millisecond readout speed, and that's something that you guys got to consider. The marketing is never going to tell you this stuff. They're just going to say it's got a stacked sensor, fastest readout speed in the world. Asterisk, only in photo mode. And no one's going to read all that. All right, guys. I hope I was able to shed some light on some of these things. I'm going to bring it home. Shutter speed is the amount of light each pixel gets exposed to. When you use a mechanical shutter, it reads each slit in that shutter speed, and therefore it reads it faster than the electronic shutter is able to. So if you can have a mechanical shutter, use the mechanical shutter unless you have to go to the electronic shutter. In photo mode, if you're going to go to the electronic shutter in photo mode, understand what the rolling shutter is and understand that in certain environments, it might be better to go to a slower frames per second that allows you to use the mechanical shutter versus go into that pre-capture for high frames per second mode, because that might introduce Jello and all kind of things into your photos. So be careful of that. If you're primarily shooting video and you want a camera that's capable of doing photo, 24 megapixels is plenty of resolution. You don't need that 50, 60, 70 megapixel. Those sensors, you can crop all you want. Don't crop. Use your feet and walk. Use the right lens and get it in camera. And that way you don't have to worry about having to get a 45 megapixel sensor that's gonna have a slower rolling shutter. I mean, the A7R5's rolling shutter was almost like 100 milliseconds. It was really bad. It was really bad. I hope I shed some light on this. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out my website. Like I said, I just started selling prints on there. Take a look. I plan to put some more up as we get this thing kicked off and going. But other than that, drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Ask any more questions. You want to see any more deep dives, let me know. And subscribe. Come back and see me. I appreciate it. All right, guys. Peace.